It's early April 2022 and my wife and I have decided to head off to the Netherlands. We're on the DFDS ferry from Newcastle to Ijmuiden, and we're going to have a look at the cycle touring infrastructure in the Netherlands, and hopefully go and have a look at the bulb fields. So here we are, we're setting off. We're going to see some of the typical scenery, hopefully see some of the bulb fields and the colour, and we're just about to get off the ferry the next morning. Oh, good morning all. It's early April 2022 and we've just arrived by ferry from Newcastle to Ijmuiden, and we're heading down to the sort of green heart of the Netherlands, and we're just getting the hang of these cycleways. I'm following a commute route. We're going to be we're just leaving Haarlem, and we're out into the countryside now. So it's dead flat, and we've got our very own dedicated cycleway. So we're just coming out of Aalsmeer. We've cycled past Schiphol Airport and we're heading out towards Nupunct 25 and making our way towards Woerden, where hopefully, if there's a campsite open, we'll try and find a campsite somewhere around there. So nice big open bit of water here. It's lovely to be in an area where you're completely segregated from traffic, just on dedicated cycleways, Fietspads. You don't have to worry too much about traffic here at all. Just other cyclists. We're a little bit more into the countryside now. Still good weather. Cycling alongside this canal, heading towards number 58. Oop. '58. Scooter club. Wow. Oh, here's some more. Look at this. Wow. So that's us. We've found a campsite in just on the outskirts of Woerden, which is where we are just now. Nice and dry. There are a few little showery clouds about, but apparently it's going to stay reasonably good till tomorrow afternoon. So that's our campsite. We've got the tent all set out. Fairly quiet, peaceful place. There's the facilities. but it's a chilly old wind. So here we are, we're just packing away. It's a bit wet and windy and quite cold, but we did alright last night. It was dry last night. We got the tent put away in the dry, so we're expecting windy weather today, and we're heading towards Gouda and then onwards towards the bulb fields, a place called Leiden. So we're kind of doing a loop round from Woerden, where we are now. So we're packing up and we'll be heading off shortly. Got a bit of shelter at the moment. There's a nice, as you can see from the route, we're surrounded by water. It's like a water world here. Great big meres or lakes or whatever, and the the track where the road goes right through the middle. But all these houses are surrounded by water. Be lovely in the summer. As the morning wore on, the wind really picked up. It was quite a chilly wind, and also quite heavy rain at times, so we were getting rather cold and rather wet, but we pushed on and we headed onwards towards Gouda, as you can see in this little bit of video. We're approaching a new punct at this point, and it'll show you exactly where you are. Here comes another new punct. Ooh. Oh yeah. So that's where we are, in the middle of this water. We're heading towards Gouda. In Gouda. Find somewhere to get a hot drink, eh? So at this point we decided it was really best not to be cycling in this sort of cold, wet weather. So we headed to the train station and took the train out towards The Hague and then onwards to Leiden. It's too wet and cold to cycle. Well, it turned out that Leiden was a great place to head for. It's a famous university town, historically significant and really nice to look around. Lots of waterways and canals. And also, as we found out, it's the birthplace of Rembrandt van Rijn. So, there we go, we enjoyed Leiden. Well, good morning. It's a bit of a better morning actually. We're just on the way out of Leiden, and we're following some lovely bike tracks through the suburbs and now out into the countryside. We're heading towards Keukenhof and the bulb fields, so we'll be cycling north, eventually back up towards Ijmuiden. So daffodils over there. Are they hyacinths? Ah, yes. Blimey. Wow, that is incredibly colourful. That's where they're brought on in places like that. So we made it into the Keukenhof Gardens. We have better weather, so we just thought we might as well come here. We were cycling past the front door, so here we are. That's the entrance behind, and yeah, lots of bulbs, tulips and things, hyacinths. The thing about these gardens is that apart from the outside displays, there's also a series of halls where there's a lot of internal displays where they can control the climate and bring these flowers on, so that there's always something on display. The halls were an opportunity for the local growers to display their flowers and the different varieties of flowers that they specialise in. So this little orchid here, well, quite a big orchid actually, you can see it's just hanging in space, and its roots don't actually go into any soil at all. I find that remarkable. So having spent a really nice afternoon at the Keukenhof Gardens, we then cycled another 4 or 5 miles to this nature camp. It's a campsite that's simple in its facilities, but the facilities were really good, in a woodland, and really nice place to be. There was another couple of cycle tourists there. It seemed to be more geared up towards campers and cyclists than caravans and motorhomes, which was a bit of a relief. Anyway, we got set up, and you can watch how quickly we do get organised, our camping in this little time-lapse video. So we're in this nature terrain campsite, and it's got a fire pit. So it's a cold evening, we thought we'd light a fire. Makes a change from cycling in cold weather. Anyway, here it is, all our own work. Whoopee. Well, just a little update. We've just had the campsite warden over and he's just told us in very broken English, obviously, that it's illegal to have a campfire, even though they've got this fantastic fire pit, only on Saturdays and Sundays because of the nature. So anyway, he says he hasn't seen anything, so we're just going to let the fire die down. Only on Saturdays and Sundays. So it's the morning of day 4, and we're just leaving the campsite at Keukenhof. It's like a nature campsite next to this. It's in the sort of sand dunes, and we're heading off now towards Haarlem, and then eventually on to Ijmuiden to catch the ferry home. But again, we're on this dedicated cycleway, really quiet. So we'll pick up again further along the road. So as the morning progressed and we headed towards Haarlem, we came across even more bulb fields, mainly daffodils and narcissus, and quite a lot of colour here from the hyacinths. Seemed like they were at their best. Not so many tulips at this point in the year. It'd been quite cold and dry apparently, and the tulips were a little bit delayed in coming through. So we've just arrived in the centre of Haarlem, and we're in the main town square. Quite an impressive place. Well, you can hear the horn in the background. I thought at first there was something really drastic going on. I thought maybe I was in the way of the traffic. It turns out it was a wedding just leaving the church, so there's a bit of commotion around that. That's what the horn was all about. So at this point we're heading from Haarlem up to Ijmuiden via the sort of a national park, Kemmerland, and the bike path goes through the sand dunes. There's a bit of variety here, nice and quiet, and we've got a tailwind. Heading to Newcastle 99. So we've made it back to a rather stormy Ijmuiden, and we're just about to get on the ferry, head back to Newcastle. So thanks for looking in. If you found it interesting or enjoyable, please give it a thumbs up, and all the other good stuff, like, subscribe, and see you in the next one.